Hello and welcome to Business Point here on Global Television, your hub for topical discussion in the world of business, where we look at tech, innovation, as well as government policies. I'm Queen Agaba, and today we're looking at the news making rounds in the world of business. But first, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll look at the federal government uncovering a scandal involving banks and higher institutions allegedly conniving to shortchange student loan applicants. After the break, please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. The federal government has uncovered a scandal involving banks and higher institutions allegedly conniving to shortchange student loan applicants. According to the National Orientation Agency (NOA) and the Nigerian Education Loan Fund (NEL Fund), some university officials and banks have been withholding vital information regarding loan disbursement, delaying payments to successful applicants, and failing to acknowledge or record loan disbursements in student financial records. The alleged malpractices are that the institutions are withholding information about loan disbursements from students, and also bank and institutions are deliberately delaying payment to successful applicants, and institutions are not recording loan disbursements in students' financial records, leading to unnecessary confusion. NEL Fund's Managing Director, Akintunde Sawyer, has confirmed these findings and warned that the organization will take legal action against any institution engaged in such practices. The NOA has also directed its state directorate to provide further feedback from students across the country to ensure appropriate actions are taken against erring schools and banks. The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has released a draft of the technical standards for digital public infrastructure (DPI) in Nigeria, seeking public input to ensure the standards meet industry expectations and government objectives. These standards aim to provide a structured approach for developing and deploying Nigeria's digital infrastructure, ensuring digital services are allowing different systems to communicate seamlessly, and also protecting against cyber threats and data breaches, streamlining processes and reducing costs. The draft standards are part of NIDA's effort to strengthen Nigeria's digital economy and support the federal government's digital infrastructure goals. This move underscores the government's commitment to building an inclusive and digital ecosystem. The key areas to be covered are outlining technical requirements for digital services, which is digital infrastructure development, and also interoperability, enabling seamless communication between different systems. Security also, ensuring that the protection of digital assets and data is priority, and also optimizing digital service delivery, basically efficiency. Now, you might want to ask how to provide input. NIDA encourages stakeholders, including citizens, industry experts, and organizations, to review the draft standards and provide feedback. Although the exact deadline isn't specified in recent updates, previous consultations have remained open until a specified date. It is also best to check NIDA's official website for the most up-to-date information. The Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has launched a contactless passport application system in several countries, including the United States, Brazil, Jamaica, and Mexico. This system allows Nigerians living abroad to renew their passports without physically visiting passport offices for biometric enrollment. The key features are that the service is exclusively for passport renewal, and applicants must have existing biometric records. Applicants can also complete the process online by uploading required documents and making payment through the NIS mobile app available on the Google Play Store. The system uses facial recognition and live authentication checks to confirm details, and then renewed passports are delivered directly to applicants via courier services. The implementation timeline, however, is that the contactless system went live in the United States on April 11, 2025. Mexico, Brazil, and Jamaica launched. These countries are scheduled to gain access on April 14th, which is today. The NIS also aims to alleviate challenges faced by Nigerians in the diaspora. Challenges like long travel distances, accommodation costs, and also delays by providing a more convenient and efficient passport renewal processes. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll look at the large companies in Nigeria that have reportedly defaulted more on bank loans in Q1 2025. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Business Point here on Global Television, your hub for topical discussions in the world of business. Nigerian large companies have reportedly defaulted more on bank loans in Q1 2025, while small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, have fared better. Although there's no direct explanation for this trend, several factors have been attributed to this trend. First will be economic pressures, where Nigeria's economic challenges, including high inflation rates averaging 33.5% in 2024, might be affecting larger companies more significantly. The Central Bank of Nigeria's interest rate hikes to combat inflation could also be increasing borrowing costs for larger companies. And then larger companies have also been more vulnerable to sovereign credit risk, which has impacted their ability to repay loans. And then also, it is indicate that banks' credit worthiness is closely tied to the government's credit ratings. SMEs have also been more agile in responding to economic changes and have more flexible business models, enabling them to better manage loan repayment. Historically, SMEs in Nigeria have shown resilience despite leading institutions lacking trust due to poor business habits and fragile financial systems. But the impact, experts and analysts say that the impacts of the economic factors is that interest rate hikes, the CBN's 5 successive interest rate hikes in 2024 raised the cost of borrowing and debt repayment, potentially affecting larger companies more. And then they say high inflation rates driven by currency depreciation, removal of oil subsidies and food inflation have also been squeezing profit margins for larger companies, making loan repayment more challenging. In the news, Seplat Energy, Nigeria's leading independent energy company, has made a significant stride in boosting the country's domestic gas supply. With the installation of new gas infrastructure, Seplat's gas processing capacity is expected to reach 850 million standard cubic feet per day. This development is attributed to the company's new $700 million annual gas project in Imo State, which has a capacity of 300 million standard cubic feet. Gas plant in and a new 85 cubic feet gas plant in Sapele, Delta State, expected to commence operations by Q4 2024. The key project, ANOC Gas Project, a $700 million investment with a capacity of 300 million cubic feet, aimed at enhancing domestic gas supply and promoting energy security. The Sapele integrated gas plant is expected to be completed in the Q4 2024, and that the project will further boost Seplat's gas processing capacity and potentially reduce Group Scope 1 emissions. Seplat is exploring investment in CNG projects to support the government's initiative and promote cleaner energy alternatives. Well, let's move over to the Nigerian stock market. The Nigerian All-Share Index concluded the trading day in negative territory, declining by 189.73 points to reach a closing value of 104,187. This represents a modest decrease of 0.18% compared to the previous day's figure of 104,376.73, from which the index had previously gained. Daily market volume also experienced a decline, decreasing by 18.23% from 460.5 million shares traded the prior day to 376.6 million shares. Market capitalization slipped to 65.4 trillion across 11,576 transactions, down from 65.5 trillion at which the index had closed the previous day. Among the gainers, Livestock and VFD Group distinguished themselves, each recording an increase of 10% to lead the gainers table. In contrast, HM Call and Len Africa faced challenges, both experiencing declines of 10%. Notably, GTCO and Axis Core emerged as leaders in trading activities with substantial transaction volumes. For the market summary, current ASI 104,187, previous ASI of 104,376.73, and day change minus 0.18%, while year-to-date performance plus 1.22%. Volume traded 376.6 million shares, and for market capitalization 65.4 trillion naira. For the top 5 gainers, livestock up 10% to 8.3 naira. For VDF Group, up 10% to 72.16 naira. NGX Group up 9.86% to 35.65 naira. WAPIC up 9.60% to 1.94 naira. And then Union Decon up 9.48% to 6.35 naira. For our top losers, HM Core down 10% to 5.22 naira. Learn Africa down 10% to 2.97 naira. ETI down 9.90% to 26.85 naira. PZ down 9.88% to 30.10 naira. And Unilever down 9.75% to 34.70 naira. Trading volume, the daily market volume experienced a decline, decreasing by 18.23% from 460.5 million shares traded the previous day to 376.6 million shares. Leading the trading activity was GTCO with an impressive exchange of 62.8 million shares. Access Corp followed closely behind, recording 51.3 million shares traded. Zenith Bank also demonstrated notable activity with 32.3 million shares exchanged. Both UBA and M Benefit contributed equally with 22.5 million and 18.1 million shares respectively. Trading value, in terms of trading value, GTCO emerged as the top performer, facilitating transactions worth 4.9 billion naira. Zenith Bank contributed a significant 1.5 billion naira to the daily total, while MTN Nigeria and Access Corp added 1.1 billion naira and 1.5 billion naira respectively. UBA rounded off the trading value figures with 775.1 million. Swoot and Fuga's performance. Within the Swoot category, Wando recorded a gain of 6.58%, whereas WAPCO experienced a slight decline of 0.35%. In the food gas sector, UBA dipped by 2.58%, Feshold dipped by 2.38%, and GTCO fell by 1.74%. Zenith Bank, however, soared by 3.30%. Access Corp reported a price movement. For the market outlook, the all-share index remains in a retracement phase, positioned below the critical 105,000 mark. Nevertheless, the potential recovery of large and mid-cap stock may contribute to the stabilization of the index in the coming weeks. Well, that's that about the Nigerian stock market. Let's have a recap of our top stories on Business Point today. First, we told you that the federal government has uncovered a scandal involving banks and higher institutions allegedly conniving to short-change students in loan applicants. And that according to the National Orientation Agency, NOA, and the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, some university officials and banks have been withholding vital information regarding loan disbursements, delaying payments to successful applicants, and failing to acknowledge or record loan disbursement in student financial record. And then the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has released a draft of the technical standards for digital public infrastructure, DPI, in Nigeria, seeking public input to ensure the standards meet industry expectations and government objectives. We also told you that the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has launched a contactless passport application system in several countries, including the United States, Brazil, Jamaica, and Mexico. This system allows Nigerians living abroad to renew their passports without physically visiting passport offices for biometric enrollment. And lastly, the Nigerian large companies have reportedly defaulted more on bank loans in Q1 2025, while small and medium-sized enterprises have fared better. Although there's no direct explanation for this trend, but several factors analysts and experts have contributed to this trend. That's how much we can take today on Business Point. Many thanks for joining me on the program. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.